These men,
give us the
aren't
deets.
just criminals. They are predators, and you can see the names and the faces of these predators on this board. One of the first videos I saw was of a woman. She was incapacitated.
Wait, hold on. Patrick Bryant is apparently her ex-boyfriend. Nancy Mace and her entrepreneur fiance, Patrick, so they were fiance, they were engaged. Patrick Bryant split after 18 months as staff quit her office, and she's accused of discussing her sex life with aides.
You will not get away with it. None of you will, because tonight is about justice for me, and tonight is about justice for all of the women that you all raped, that you all filmed, that you all photographed, that you all abused for years.
Man, this is a Wendy's. Nancy Mace is really excited to tell us something. She has been hyping it up all day. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that we should hit the content warning on this one, because I think what she's going to talk about is very graphic. But I promise you, she has been hyping it up. She's even live on X tonight at 10. Nancy Mace's explosive floor speech to expose rapists, peeping toms, and sex traffickers. So, yeah, she's tweeting through it, apparently, because this just happened. It happened at 7 o'clock. She's been hyping it up all day.
We have 2 votes, and then at 7 p.m. tonight I give my speech. It's a speech that I wish my younger self could have heard. Yeah, truth brings peace, even in all of its brutality.
So let's give her a shot here. We're not going to listen to all 50 minutes of this.
Unanimous
Good Lord.
consent that all members may have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks and include extraneous material on the topic of this special order.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to call out the cowards who think they can prey on women and get away with it.
It's just going to be transphobia, isn't it?
Going scorched earth. So let the bridges I burn this evening light our way forward. As in
light one up, tip one back. You heard the woman.
God's love has shown me the light, and God's grace has given me the strength to be here today. God placed this burden on my path, not to crush me, but to ignite something within me, a calling, a purpose, a responsibility, and courage, which I am using in spades today. The purpose of my speech tonight is to make sure these women will never be forgotten, and the men who hurt them will never be allowed to get away with it or hide again. God uses imperfect people to carry out his perfect plans. I ask God to fill me up, to be his vessel, and to use me for his purpose tonight.
That sounds so dirty.
Expose the devil's hand today. In Jeremiah 6:16, it says, when we're at a crossroads, that we're to look at the ancient paths, look for the right way, and walk on it. When I was saved 5 years ago in church in May of 2019, it was a Saturday night, and I was at a crossroads in life. And when I heard this sermon with my child next to me, he put his arm around me. He said, Mommy, it's going to be okay. We are going to be okay. And I know that in God's faith,
those are Representatives Boebert and Anna Paulina Luna behind her.
And tonight it is God who is showing me the right
energy flow
to take. Because this is about truth. This is about unveiling evil that is in.
Okay, here's the thing: is I really want to make those same kind of jokes.
Tonight,
but she's talking about sexual assault.
Right.
And it feels
to do what is right. So what I am doing tonight, I know in my heart of hearts.
Supposedly she's talking about sexual assault.
I'm going to take this Bible a friend gave to me. I'm going to place my hand on this Bible. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing.
Look at the face Boebert is making.
So help me God.
Is she shocked?
Today I'm going to free myself from the monster who broke me. Today I'm going to free other women who fell prey to the same man. Today I will free other women further from a group of men who committed the most evil acts against them. I want every woman and girl to know in the country, you have a friend and you have a sister.
Yeah, once again, you elected a
And I
rapist
will fight
pedophile.
like hell for you every day of the week.
Minty, good evening.
We must never tolerate abusers masquerading as men of character. Abuse doesn't discriminate. Abuse doesn't care if you are Republican or if you're a Democrat.
Oh, but you're going to make it political, aren't you?
Abuse doesn't care who you are or where you come from or how strong you are or what title you hold. I'm living proof that even as a member of Congress,
Because it makes me feel yucky if I'm like any of those three women could be my GOP mommy.
with the darkest corners of humanity.
But honestly, I think
You
I'm
really
older
you
than
know
Luna.
someone until you don't. In November 2023, I accidentally uncovered some of the most heinous crimes against women imaginable. We're talking about rape, non-consensual photos, non-consensual videos
She uncovered.
of women and underage girls, and the premeditated, calculated exploitation of women and girls in my district. Today, you will hear about the depraved men behind these
Was it a pastor?
evil acts. These men didn't just harm their victims, they recorded their depravity as if it were a badge of honor. When I uncovered evidence of rape
This happened just like
illegal filming
an
of
hour or
women.
so ago.
and sex trafficking, I didn't just see victims.
Was it in a
A
church?
system that failed to protect them. I saw criminals who thought they could get away with it because no one had the guts, no one had the courage, no one had the bravery to hold them accountable because we are filled with cowards. I will burn this system to the ground if I have to.
Get to it.
These men
Give us the
aren't
deets.
just criminals. They are predators, and you can see the names and the faces of these predators on this board to my right tonight. These predators are not untouchable. These predators are not invisible, and these predators are not invincible.
Look like pastors to me.
Today, their names will be tied to their crimes and their cowardice forever. Let me say their names for the record in an alphabetical order. Eric Bowman of Sullivan's Island, South Carolina. Patrick Bryant of Mount Pleasant and Isle of Palms, South Carolina, who also goes by Brendan Patrick Bryant. John Osborne of Charleston, South Carolina. And Brian Musgrave of Fort Mill, South Carolina. Let me be loud and clear. I would never allow any woman or underage girl anywhere near any of you. When you incapacitate women, it's against the law. When you sexually assault women, it's called rape. If you film women naked without their knowledge, without their permission, and without their consent, it's called voyeurism, and it makes you a peeping Tom.
I don't know what she's talking about. He was charged with battery after a hit and run. I don't see anything about sexual assault. I hope she gets sued for this. I cannot find anything. I'm looking up this Eric Bowman guy, and a court upheld his verdict in a 2018 hit and run. I don't see anything about a sexual assault charge. And that picture is the one from this hit and run charge. I do not see, like, it could be somewhere else, but I am not seeing it. You can see the dude clearly. That's the dude in that picture right there. Upholds verdict against ex-Charleston battery owner for 2018 incident. He struck someone twice in a low-speed vehicle in 2018. A jury ordered him to pay $1.8 million, so it sounds like it was even a civil case. I see nothing about him being charged with any kind of sex crime.
And it is illegal. When you and your business partners, like these, all business partners, when you and your business partners pay each other and you sexually abuse women, it's called sex trafficking, and it is against the law. And it, by definition, makes you a sex trafficker. Witness intimidation.
I'm not seeing anything of this
is also illegal.
Osborne guy.
To Eric Bowman, Patrick Bryant, Brian Musgrave, and John Osborne, you have bought yourself a one-way ticket to hell. It is nonstop. There are no connections. So
guys, I don't
of your victims can watch you rot.
I don't see any charges against any of these. The two I've looked up so far.
Is about justice. Truth has a way of rising no matter how deeply you try to bury it. Tonight is about truth. The painful, the cold, the hard truth. On the night of October 30th, 2023, I received a text message with screenshots from a friend of mine in South Carolina. It showed my then fiance, Patrick Bryant.
Wait, what?
On a dating app. In South Carolina, politics is a blood sport. I thought this was your usual run-of-the-mill political game. I thought it was a joke. When I confronted Patrick Bryant 4 days later, on November 3rd,
what was a joke?
He did was take his phone and put it in a safe and lock it. A safe.
What?
Identical to this one.
She brought a safe?
It was so confusing. I didn't understand. Why would someone put their cell phone in a safe and lock it? After more women came forward, I realized this was not for laughs. Soon after, I learned the dating app was the very least of my worries. Let me make clear, I don't care that he was on a dating app. 2 days later, Patrick Bryant put my thumbprint on his phone. One just like this. He put his thumbprint, my thumbprint on his phone. He also gave me the 4-digit code to his safe. The night that I was given legal access to his phone, I opened it for the first time. And what I discovered shocked me to my core. One of the first videos I saw was of a woman. She was incapacitated.
Wait, hold on. Patrick Bryant is apparently her ex-boyfriend. Like, she's just being petty in Nancy Mace and her entrepreneur fiance, Patrick. So they were fiance. They were engaged. Patrick Bryant split after 18 months. His staff quit her office, and she's accused of discussing her sex life with aides. The South Carolina lawmaker, who was one of the 8 to vote out former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, split with her fiance last month. This was December of 2023. Now they are fighting over a $3.9 million beachfront property with 6 bedrooms and a pool and $1.3 million Washington, D.C. home they both have equity in. And all of the men that she is accused haven't been charged, it seems.
And she was being raped. I found some photos of what appeared to be a teenager undressed in the kind of underwear a child would wear. To me, the facial expression of this young woman, young girl, teenager, looked scared and nervous. I saw another video of another woman who was undressed, clearly on a camera, unaware she was being filmed. She was slender, and she had long brown hair. I turned up the volume to hear if there was audio. I heard my voice. I zoomed in on the video, and that woman was me. My entire
pulled a
body
Kamala.
was paralyzed, and I couldn't move. Where my feet on the floor, was I breathing? I have no idea. I could feel pain shooting out of my heart, out of my chest, drop straight down to the floor like I was in a nosedive. The pain running through my veins wouldn't stop. Time was suspended for a moment. This monster stole my body. It felt like I had been raped. He stole my body without my permission, without my knowledge, and without my consent. This hidden camera that I found was at a property owned by Patrick Bryant and his business partner, Brian Musgrave. Here was a similar camera bought on Amazon. Something this small that could violate so many to such a heinous degree. I found an app where at least one of the hidden cameras I discovered was stored. I discovered on this app for this tiny little camera, there were 10,633 videos on it. Let me repeat.
Did you turn them over to the cops?
Had 10,633 videos on it. Patrick Bryant must have forgotten. In my younger days, in my youth, I used to be a computer programmer. I know enough about technology. I found more photos, this time of female employees. I found photos of wives of male employees. Photos of girlfriends and women who very clearly didn't know their private parts were being filmed and photographed.
This is not for Congress.
After file after file, Patrick Bryant had upskirt photos of one particular victim, the wife of a male employee, who is also one of his best friends. He took upskirt photos of his employee's wife, spanning at least 8 years. He even took upskirt photos of her on their family vacations. And I know she had no idea these photos were being taken because of the way that they were taken. There's no way that she knew about it. I found about
welcome in.
Bryant's trash bin of underage girls that he deleted in the hours after he gave me access to his phone.
Wait, what?
I recognized 3 of the underage girls as daughters of some of his business partners, some of them in bikinis. If you're a 50-year-old man and you have teenage girls in bikinis on your phone and it's okay, why would you delete them in the hours after
Why didn't you turn over this incriminating evidence to the cops immediately?
12 plus videos of 12 plus photos.
I don't take your word for it.
Trash bin. What are you to worry about if there's nothing going on? But 3 of the teenage girls I saw in his trash bin of his business partners were in bikinis. One of these jarring photos of the child of one of his business partners was an underage girl, fully clothed.
To recap, Colt, Igloo, welcome in, guys. If you're just joining us, this Patrick Bryant guy was her ex, apparently ex-fiance. They had a messy breakup. She was accused of telling her staffers all about her sex life, and now it looks like I don't want to discount her allegations. It's possible these men have done something horrendous to her, and I do not want to make light of that. But I do not trust Nancy Mace. What we seem to know for a fact at the moment is that this is her ex. None of these men have been charged with anything remotely resembling what she has talked about. This is all he said, she said. And we're seeing it play out on the floor of Congress.
But her legs were spread open, unaware she was being photographed. Patrick Bryant took this photo from his penis area.
What?
In my accidental discovery, I found multiple devices used by...
He was holding it with his cock.
...without their knowledge. And that's before I get to what I uncovered with Patrick Bryant and his business partners.
Once again, your ex.
Access to Patrick Bryant's phone, I found evidence that he got a second mobile device. I documented it. Patrick Bryant couldn't transfer these files off his device fast enough. I discovered he was transferring terabytes of data onto another device. I documented it. Patrick Bryant would soon replace his cell phone with a new one. I documented that too. He forgets that I used to be
document anything?
Programmer. None of this is conjecture. These are not
exactly conjecture.
These are facts. It is documented. Sometimes with metadata. I knew how to get that too. This is what I found.
Once again, doubt.
This is what I saw, and this is what I accidentally discovered.
They were cutting off Nancy Mace.
As you should know by now, I keep all the receipts. In addition
I don't know this.
I personally identified almost a dozen victims. I found some witnesses, and I found more than enough probable cause, and then some. If I found this many victims with this little effort, why are they still on the streets of South Carolina today? I'm just one person. Imagine how many victims there truly
Did
are.
you take it to the cops?
No.
You supposedly had the evidence.
This cobble of rapists, this cobble of sex traffickers, this cobble of peeping toms.
Hey guys, Future Justin here. Just wanted to follow up on the story that we did yesterday, make some clarifications. Nancy Mace accuses ex-fiancé and associates of rape and abuse in house speech. I made several references to the accused being able to take legal action against Mace for the comments that she made. However, I was not aware that Mace's remarks on the House floor are protected under what is known as the speech or debate clause, which prevents legislators from being prosecuted or sued for remarks and actions during legislative actions. Mace's office has also issued a statement defending her unprecedented remarks on the House floor by referring to the constitutional protection. That makes what Mace did yesterday that much more craven and despicable, that she got on the floor of the House to throw shade at her ex that she's in a messy breakup with. They've got millions of dollars worth of property up in the air in court proceedings. So this really seems to be something personal. Bryant has denied the accusations in a statement to the Associated Press. Says, I categorically deny these allegations. I take this matter seriously. Will cooperate fully with any necessary legal processes to clear my name. Mace also criticized the South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson for failing to prosecute the men after she presented evidence to authorities. But in a statement following Mace's speech, Wilson's office called the Congresswoman's accusations against the Attorney General categorically false and politically motivated. Wilson and Mace are both considering running for South Carolina governor in 2026. So just wanted to follow up on those facts. Apparently, the four men have no legal recourse against Mace, and the Attorney General may have just taken a stray bullet based on the fact that Mace is going to run against him for governor. So I stand behind my statements that I believe that Nancy Mace is a messy bitch.
Exactly 7 days later, after I got access to Patrick Bryant's phone, I was under extreme duress.
Her ex.
I found more photos. I found more videos. On my last night with Patrick Bryant,
if there is trafficking, if it crosses state lines, it's a matter for the FBI. But yeah, it's something that you'd probably take to the state police, and they would make the call to bring in the FBI anonymously. Femvox.
he physically assaulted me.
Her ex.
On the morning of November 13th, I fled my home and I went into hiding. I, as a member of Congress, fled my home and I went into hiding. It would be the first of 4 moves that I made last year. I still have the mark that Patrick Bryant made on me the night that he assaulted me.
You file a police
This
report.
mark is a scar. I see this mark.
Once again, no, because I just looked up court records. I did not see any record of an arrest dealing with Patrick Bryant. These 4 men have not been charged with anything remotely resembling what she has accused them of. So
Of a free woman, free from a monster. I will wear this mark that he made on me for the rest of my life as a badge of honor.
And I don't doubt that her and her ex were
To the
fucking
friends
toxic.
who took me in, I want to say thank you. You took care of me when I had nowhere to go. You took care of me and my kids. Last year, I had to tell a woman that she'd been raped and she didn't even know it.
Oh, it's possible
And
that
she
she
didn't
gets
know it. She had no
sued for
idea.
defamation.
Because she was incapacitated at the time of the rape. I knew she was raped because I accidentally found the video of her being raped. I found photos and video of her assault on Patrick Bryant's phone. One of Patrick Bryant's...
And remember, she told us that this issue wasn't political. It applies to both Republicans and Democrats. And then proceeded to tell us about how her ex and his associates were the ones that were doing the raping and sex trafficking.
His business associates, John Osborne, sexually assaulted her at the home of Eric Bowman. Patrick Bryant and Eric Bowman both had their phones out like this as she was being assaulted. As
They were chanting ass to ass.
the 2 of them, the 3 of them business partners, the 2 of them had their phones out just like this, filming her as she
It looked like they were more than business partners.
and she was completely laid out. There was no movement. There was no life. I couldn't even tell if this young woman was alive. John Osborne today, John Osborne, I want you to hear this in your omission as you're frantically texting people today. I cannot unsee what you did to this.
I have a feeling we're going to hear from these guys.
And you will not get away with it. None of you will, because tonight is about justice for me, and tonight is about justice for all of the women that you all raped, that you all filmed, that you all photographed, that you all abused for years.
Man, this is a Wendy's.
I would later learn that these men, the three of them, Patrick Bryant, Eric Bowman, and John Osborne, planned her rape. It was premeditated. Eric Bowman knew there were children in the home at the time of the rape, and he decided to orchestrate it anyway. But that's
Michael,
not the only
Dougie.
rape I uncovered at Eric Bowman's home. In a second video, Patrick Bryant can be seen breaking into a room.
We don't know why it's in Congress. She made a huge deal about this all day on her Twitter. She hyped it up that she was going to be exposing rapists and sex traffickers. But basically, it's her ex and his friends. And it appears that she said she saw the evidence, but she doesn't actually have the evidence, and she didn't report it at the time when she had it, and everything's been deleted since. But she has evidence that things were deleted. It's very weird. It sounds fishy as fuck. The two ladies behind her are Representative Lauren Boebert of Colorado, Representative Anna Paulina Luna of Florida.
His pants undone, ready to rape a different incapacitated woman.
This has been a wild ride.
There was no life, there was no movement. I couldn't tell if she was alive. Eric Bowman, his business partner, filmed it. When I informed my children we were urgently feeling...
I mean, if that happened, that's horrible. I want to see these men brought to justice.
My children asked me if Patrick Bryant had ever raped me. I don't know how children know...
Wait, what?
The spirit of humanity, but my kids knew something I did not already know.
Your kid, how old is your kid? Asked you if your ex raped you. Once again, your ex.
Children have a way of knowing evil in others when we don't. In searching for victims over the last year, I met other women who were raped or sexually assaulted by some of these men.
Let me be perfectly clear. Just because it's her ex doesn't mean that he's not capable of raping her. That's not what I'm saying at all. But this sounds fishy as fuck. I want to believe women when they come forward with accusations. This woman did not go about it the correct way, which is to go to authorities. Yes, I know. Police have rape kits backed up all over the place. But supposedly you've got video evidence that rape and underage child exploitation has gone on, and you didn't you, a sitting congresswoman, when this supposedly happened, which would have been like a year and a half ago, you, a sitting congresswoman, did not take said evidence that was in your hand to the FBI, to local law enforcement at the time, which would have been the course of action to take, instead of now, as you're going through a messy fucking, once again, they have millions of dollars in property together. Let me clear that up for people that may have joined us a little late. This is from December of 2023. Nancy Mace and her entrepreneur fiance, Patrick Bryant, split after 18 months. Her staff quit from her office, accused of discussing her sex life with aides. They are now fighting over a $3.9 million beachfront property with 6 bedrooms and a pool, and a $1.3 million Washington, D.C. home they both have equity in. So they've got millions of dollars on the line here. And now she, in the middle of these court battles, is taking to the floor of Congress to call this dude a rapist and call out his friends. And it seems like there is zero evidence to support her claims that we know of. There are no charges to support her claims.
The other assaults I uncovered over the last year span over a decade, almost 20 years. In talking to these victims, there's a clear pattern of behavior. Women were incapacitated, they were raped, and someone filmed it. One night,
but supposedly these don't exist anymore.
Property owned by Patrick Bryant and Brian Musgrave on the Isle of Palms in South Carolina. Business partners Patrick Bryant and Eric Bowman were both there. I was served 2 small vodka sodas, like this glass right here, 2 small vodka sodas, like anyone would have at their neighborhood restaurant.
You got sloshed.
Later, I blacked out. I have never blacked out after having a vodka soda or any adult beverage ever.
She says she can handle her liquor.
But I know who has. The women raped on those tapes that I saw, the women raped that I spoke to over the course of the last year. The stories of these women were all too familiar. Now I know why. My memories of that night are just flashes in and out of the dark, flashes in and out of the night. I was raped that night. Was it Patrick Bryant? I don't know. But I was raped. I believe that they purposely incapacitated me. Was anyone else there? Was it filmed? Was it sold on the dark web? I have no idea. But I know what these men do to their victims. I learned firsthand about the weaponization of government going through this trauma because I met it head on. I fought in silence, and it was one of the hardest things I have ever had to do. In October, Eric Bowman tried to intimidate me, and he tried to silence me. And the state of South Carolina failed to take it seriously as witness intimidation. During the last year, I turned everything over to law enforcement and then some. I was told I, as a victim, would be investigated. Investigated for what? I am a victim here. I am turning in all of this evidence to you. And now you say victims. You're a victim of rape. You're a victim of being drugged. You're a victim of a peeping Tom and voyeurism. Yet we're going to investigate you. That is what this state told me. During the last year, more than once, I was told I could be arrested. Arrested for what?
I think you might be making up allegations.
Arrests are also a way to intimidate victims, instilling fear so victims hide in the shadows, so victims don't come forward, so victims don't ask for complaints to be filed. So there is no investigation because you strike holy fear into victims, or you tell them there's nothing you can do. You tell them they have no value.
Reporters better be looking into this.
If anyone would like to arrest me for standing up for women, here are my risks. Arrest me. Take me to jail because I am 100% guilty of turning over evidence.
You heard her, boys. Lock her up.
Of turning over evidence of rape, of turning over evidence of voyeurism, of turning over evidence of sex trafficking. And who knows, probably a heck of a lot more and more crimes I don't have time to get into tonight. I am 100% guilty of advocating for justice despite every effort to silence me.
This has been one of the wildest things I've ever watched.
Raging every single day. It's not a problem confined to one race. It's not a problem confined to one religion. It's not a problem confined to one socioeconomic class. It's not someone else's problem. It is our problem. We must face domestic violence, sexual assault, rape, and sex trafficking with courage. We must face it with clarity, and we must face
Once again, you're a sitting Congresswoman.
We must also face it with hardcore justice.
You're saying
no room for those who think they're strength.
You're saying the Attorney General of your state did nothing, but these are absolutely charges that the FBI could look into. You are a Congresswoman. I'm sure you can contact the FBI. They will take your claims very seriously. When you had that phone and you could have turned it over for evidence.
Is in intimidating and harming or threatening others. True strength lies in honor, it lies in respect, and it lies in the truth. Real men are protectors, they're not predators. South Carolina's chief law enforcement officer, Attorney General Alan Wilson, stated 2 weeks ago tonight that he will let his, quote, record speak for itself.
And I assume she's beefing with the AG.
Careful what you wish for, because your record speaks loud and clear. Women who come forward in your system are treated like criminals. Under your leadership.
Yeah, this AG is sitting at home going, this is the first I've heard of any of this. And now my face is up in front of Congress. Wow.
In your system and on your watch. Attorney General Alan Wilson, you know there were deliberate delays in an investigation in what I turned over. 228 days of delay, and you know this. 228 days of delay. That's 7 months, 2 weeks, and 4.
The Attorney General also, they investigate like businesses, wage theft crimes and shit like that. They investigate public officials. They investigate the cops. I don't exactly, the Attorney General of your state is your attorney, the state's attorney. Like, that's their purview. I don't exactly know why the Attorney General would be involved in this case. Once again, the claims you have made would fall under the purview of the FBI, and you are a sitting Congresswoman.
4 days of delay to investigate. Once again, today, you are kicking the can down the road like you always do. You are known for it. More days, more weeks, and more delay. Did the Attorney General contact the Department of Social Services when the state was told about a rape that happened in a home with children, when children were at home? No, he didn't. Did South Carolina's Attorney General have any of these predators indicted after being provided clear, cut and dry evidence, including video, photos, witnesses? No, he did not. When the attorney of a victim asked to speak to the Attorney General, Alan Wilson directly, he told the attorney not to send him any information, not to send him any documents. Did the state accept additional physical evidence from me late last year when I stumbled upon it? No, they did not. I was also told my domestic violence incident would not be investigated. In your system, Attorney General Alan Wilson, women who come forward are threatened with investigation like I was. In your system, women who come forward are threatened with arrest like I was. While the law is explicit in protecting victims, in your system, you don't follow the law.
I think she didn't have any evidence.
20 days.
They're like threatening her with filing a false report.
And only because I was persistent. I was given a victim's rights advocate 10 months, 2 weeks, and 6 days later. 10 months. 10 and a half months the state waited to give me a victim's rights advocate. What is wrong with you people? So let me remind you, Mr. Attorney General, you have one job, and it is to follow the law. South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson, you're not a real man because real men
I think we're going to be hearing a lot of fallout from this.
protect women. I have no respect for anyone who treats women and victims the way you do. I will stand up and stand in the way of anyone who will cause harm and abuse, and you're one of them. You've turned a blind
And I think she's got a beef with the AG.
last 15 years.
So once again, the man that she was calling out was her ex-entrepreneur fiance, Patrick Bryant. They split after 18 months. Several members of her staff quit because she was accused of discussing her sex life with Patrick Bryant with the staff. Patrick Bryant now fighting with Nancy Mace over $3.9 million in beachfront property with 6 bedrooms, $1.3 million Washington, D.C. home that they both have equity in. So if her claims are true, it's disgusting, and I want to see those men brought to justice. Something smells fishy, and it might be Nancy Mace's cunt. I'm so cancel Justin on that one.